You've probably seen wild chess openings online that make you think, this could actually work. Maybe you've even tried them yourself, caught your friend off guard, and felt like a genius. But here's the hard truth. Those flashy moves that look brilliant on a screen, they fail miserably against real opponents in serious tournaments. Right here, we dive deep into openings you should never play in a tournament. Before we get started, do us a favor by hitting like, turn on notifications so you never miss out on any chess insights like this. There's something magical about experimenting with unusual chess openings at home. You sit at your board or on your phone and try something wild, something your opponent has probably never seen. It feels daring. It feels creative. It feels like you're stepping into the shoes of a genius who sees chess differently. And online, those ideas sometimes work. People panic, people blunder, people fall for traps they've never seen before. But everything changes when you walk into a tournament hall. Suddenly the room is quiet. Clocks are ticking. Players are focused. Your opponent isn't rushing. They aren't distracted. They're calculating deeply, ready for everything, and prepared for anything you throw at them. The atmosphere is completely different, and the expectations are higher. In tournament chess, risky creativity rarely survives. There are openings that seem fun, flashy, or tricky online, but under the pressure of serious competition, they collapse almost instantly. One of the most famous examples is the Grob attack with the move g4. At first glance, it looks rebellious and exciting. It ignores the normal rules of chess and jumps straight into chaos. Many beginners enjoy it because it feels different, like you're tricking your opponent from move 1. But in reality, it weakens the king side immediately. It hands the center over to black without a fight. And at the tournament level, that single move becomes a target. Black immediately strikes in the center with moves like d5 or e5, and suddenly white is already on the defensive. The fun disappears quickly once a strong player starts attacking the weaknesses you created on the very first move. Engines have also killed any surprise factor the Grob once had. Every refutation is well known and widely practiced. Another opening that suffers the same fate is the Latvian gambit. The move f5 appears aggressive and ambitious, as though black is starting a sharp fight right out of the gate. But ambition without stability becomes a liability. The king becomes dangerously exposed, and white's simple response, knight takes e5, gives them instant central control. While beginners may get excited by how sharp the lines look, tournament players shut down the attack with precise moves. Once the dust settles, black is left with a weak king, no development, and a position that collapses under pressure. Preparation neutralizes the gambit almost instantly, exposing how unsound it truly is. The England gambit is another popular trap online, especially against 1d4. With the move e5, black tries to shock white into unfamiliar territory, and it works when your opponent doesn't know the theory. But in classical settings, white simply takes the pawn with d takes e5, and black gets nothing in return. No compensation, no initiative, no structural advantage. Everything black hopes for depends on white falling into one of the many traps, but tournament opponents don't fall for tricks that rely on rushed thinking. They take their time, they calculate, they play the strongest moves instead of the tempting ones, and once they return the pawn, or consolidate the position, black is simply worse. The England is the kind of gambit that only survives when surprise is your greatest weapon. Remove the surprise and the entire opening crumbles. Then there's the Stafford gambit, one of the most viral openings ever, thanks to online videos and content creators. It looks explosive. It looks deadly. It looks like black is unleashing an unstoppable wave of tactics. But those videos tell only half the story. They show what happens when white doesn't defend accurately. In tournament play, white does defend accurately. One or two precise moves and the entire attack disappears. Suddenly black isn't the one attacking, black is the one suffering, down a pawn with no compensation and no long-term activity. The Stafford depends almost entirely on traps and fear. Take those away, and the opening becomes strategically hollow. A more dramatic example of online excitement but offline disaster is the Halloween gambit. This opening sacrifices a full knight early on, hoping to chase black's pieces around the board and build a massive attack. It looks courageous. It looks imaginative, but the excitement doesn't last long. Against someone who knows what they're doing, the so-called attack dies quickly. Black reorganizes, defends with accuracy, pushes back, and eventually white is simply down a whole piece with no compensation. A strong defender calmly survives the tension, and once the initiative disappears, white is left with a hopeless position that can't be repaired. Sacrificing a knight so early isn't bravery in tournament chess, it's self-destruction. Even openings that look more respectable struggle at the top levels. Take the Budapest Gambit. It's not terrible. It's not ridiculous. It even creates interesting play in the right hands. But it lacks long-term reliability. White simply holds the center, develops smoothly, and gradually takes control of the game. Black must play extremely accurately to maintain balance, and the slightest inaccuracy leads to a weak position. Tournament players who have studied these structures deeply find it easy to neutralize the early threats and take over the game in the middle game. At faster time, controls of Budapest can work, but in classical events, where every small structural concession matters, it rarely survives. Another fan favorite you'll see online is the wing gambit against the Sicilian defense. White pushes the b-pawn early, hoping to undermine Black's c-pawn. It sounds clever, but it does far more harm than good. White weakens their own queenside and falls behind in development almost immediately. Black can accept the pawn and expand, or decline the pawn and still get a comfortable game. Either option leads to a superior position. Strong players know exactly how to respond. The excitement White hopes for simply never arrives. The Smith-Morra gambit, on the other hand, actually has some venom. It's dangerous in blitz. It creates fast development and attacking chances. But even this aggressive gambit fails in classical events where Black has time to recall or study precise anti-Morra lines. Preparation drains the energy out of White's attack. Once the initiative fades, White is stuck down a pawn with no compensation and must fight to survive in an inferior ending. The same pattern repeats in the Danish gambit, another beloved opening among romantic chess players. Sacrificing pawn after pawn for rapid development looks thrilling and produces incredible attacking games at the amateur level. But at the top, calm defense shuts down everything. Engines have analyzed every line to death, and Black knows exactly how to block threats, exchange pieces, and eventually enjoy a large material advantage. The opening that feels like fireworks at home becomes a quiet, slow, painful loss in tournaments. White's initiative burns out fast, and the structural disadvantages created by all those sacrifices come back like a tidal wave. Even the Barnes opening, starting with the move f3, still appears occasionally among players who want to shock their opponents. But there is no shock value for serious competitors. The move weakens critical squares, gives up the center entirely, and offers no development. Black immediately takes over the middle of the board and begins attacking the exposed kingside. In a casual game, maybe you survive. In a tournament, you'll be fighting uphill from the second move. And these are just a few examples out of dozens of fun openings that beginners love, openings that melt instantly under the disciplined eyes of a well-prepared opponent. The truth is simple. Tournament players don't fall for tricks. They understand position. They know the engine lines that neutralize early attacks. The moment you choose one of these unsound openings in a tournament game, you give them a target to exploit. If you truly want to improve your chess, the answer doesn't lie in studying traps. It lies in studying real openings. If you want stability, better results, and steady rating improvement, build a repertoire you can trust. Study positions that will make you stronger. Learn structures that appear again and again at higher levels. Because at the end of the day, tournament chess is not about surprising your opponent. It's about outplaying them. When you avoid these flashy but unreliable lines, you step into a higher level of chess maturity. Over to you now. What opening have you tried that worked online but completely failed you in a real over-the-board game? Check out our video on the 10 most popular chess openings. It will do you so much good, and also do well to like, share, and turn on notifications for more chess content from Chess for Sharks.